Hi everyone, and welcome back to English with Emily and James, a cozy little corner where you can learn English in a relaxed, gentle way while also making your life a little better every single day.
And I'm James. We're genuinely so happy to see you again in this space. We love the feeling of sitting right in your headphones, chatting with you like close friends. Hanging out in your ears sounds a bit strange, but also kind of adorable, right?
I'm Emily. Totally. We're like two tiny English coaches always ready to keep you company whenever you put on your headphones. And James, you're looking insanely energetic today, like you just walked out of an animated adventure movie. What's the secret you're glowing?
Honestly, there are just two small secrets. First, last night, I actually went to bed before midnight, which almost never happens, and it felt like winning a major life achievement. Second, this morning I told myself, James, today you're not letting life run on autopilot. Today you're going to live more intentionally.
Not living on autopilot, that line sounds so cool. So, does that mean no zombie James wandering around with half-open eyes and coffee in hand today?
Exactly. No zombie mode today. I still absolutely love coffee, of course, but I don't want coffee to become my entire personality. This morning I stretched a bit, threw the windows wide open, took a deep breath of fresh air, and suddenly my mind felt clear. I thought, whoa, is this where a new life begins?
Meanwhile, I was the complete opposite. This morning I fought with my alarm clock for 3 full rounds, snooze, wake up, snooze again. But I made one small change that turned out to be incredibly effective. Instead of lying there, scrolling on my phone like usual, I played some soft acoustic music and let it wake me up.
Music instead of scrolling, that's a small change, but a truly classy one, Emily. It sounds so much gentler and more peaceful. Your brain wakes up gradually, instead of being bombarded by notifications, messages, and TikTok reels.
Exactly. Just one tiny change and my whole morning felt upgraded, and that upgrade carried through the rest of my day. Sometimes it's the smallest things that create the biggest impact.
A small upgrade, but a real and valuable one. And that's exactly the spirit of today's topic.
Right. Today isn't just about mornings. We're going to talk about how to change your entire life little by little in a realistic and sustainable way.
Today's topic is a pretty big one. Yesterday, I had a really peaceful moment sitting by the window and watching the rain fall softly. And suddenly I found myself wondering, why is it that some people manage to completely transform their lives while so many others stay stuck going in circles for years?
I totally get that feeling. You see someone who used to struggle financially, lacked confidence, or wrestled with English, and then after some time they completely transform. Dream job, great energy, a vibrant life. And you can't help but wonder, what did they do so right? What important secret did I miss?
Exactly. And then I looked back at my own English learning journey. When I first started, it felt like trying to climb Mount Everest in flip-flops. Endless vocabulary, messy grammar and pronunciation, full of bizarre sounds. Just thinking about it made me want to give up.
Same here. I used to naively believe that if I just crammed a huge list of vocabulary, I'd eventually speak fluently like a native speaker. But the more I learned, the more I realized it's not just about vocabulary. What really matters is your daily habits, your mindset, how you see yourself, and how willing you are to actually use English in real life.
That was the exact moment. Something just clicked in my head. I suddenly thought, oh, changing your life is actually just like learning English. Most of the time, life doesn't change because of some dramatic Hollywood-style scene. It changes because of thousands, even tens of thousands of small choices repeated day after day.
Those small decisions, when repeated consistently, slowly add up and create a completely new version of you, the version you once dreamed of becoming.
So, today, we're going to explore how to change your life step by step, using simple, easy-to-understand English, along with the most practical and relatable real-life examples.
But before we dive deep into the topic, we'd like to ask you for one tiny favor.
Just one small click of your finger, but it means a huge amount of motivation for this podcast.
If you're enjoying listening with us and learning something new, please like this episode and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next one. That small action helps many other learners discover the English Leap podcast.
And we're really looking forward to reading your comments. Just write one simple sentence, "I'm your name," from your country. And one small thing I want to change in my life is, we read every single comment, and we truly love getting to know you better. Those shared lines help us understand more about your lives, your dreams, and even your struggles.
Plus, when you write a comment in English, even just one sentence, your brain has to work, choosing words, organizing sentences, checking grammar. That's real practice, not just passive listening.
All right, now let's jump into the main topic. What does real-life change actually mean? By the way, today's episode is designed at the B1 intermediate level, which is perfect if you're around that stage.
The English is clear and easy to follow, the vocabulary and structures aren't too difficult, but the ideas are still deep and inspiring. It's not childish English, and it's not overly advanced either, just balanced and accessible.
If you're a beginner with a fairly solid foundation, don't worry, you can absolutely keep up. This episode is safe for you and will help boost your confidence as you move toward the intermediate level.
No matter where you are on your English learning journey, feel free to stay, relax, sip some tea or coffee, and learn along with us.
And since we're huge vocabulary lovers, this episode will highlight some really nice words and phrases. We'll explain them naturally during the conversation, and at the end, there'll be a gentle, easy word tour.
Sit back, take a deep breath, and let's review each important word together with simple examples. Stay until the end so you don't miss it.
Emily, let's start with a big but very relatable question. If everyone wants to change their life, why does it feel so difficult?
That's the timeless question. Change sounds beautiful, a fresh start, a new chapter, a new life, but reality is very different. So many people desperately want to change, yet they feel stuck and unable to move forward.
The word stuck here is really important. Stuck means being completely trapped, like your shoes are glued into thick mud. No matter how hard you pull, they just won't move. The first reason is something most people have probably experienced: fear of failure.
Exactly. Failure is when things don't turn out the way we hope. Many people think, if I dare to try and fail, people will laugh at me, I'll disappoint myself, or worse, I'll prove that I was never good enough in the first place.
But very few people dare to ask the opposite question. What if I try and succeed? What if I actually can do it? How would my life change? Everyone you admire for making big changes has a secret history filled with many small failures.
They simply decided that failure isn't the end. It's just a normal part of a long journey.
The second reason, no clear direction.
Direction here is like having Google Maps guiding you. Many people vaguely say, I want a better life or I want to be better at English, but those goals are too broad, too unclear, blurry, like an out-of-focus photo.
When a goal is blurry, people often fall into the trap of waiting for a perfect plan to fall from the sky. And while they're waiting, time passes, but nothing changes.
It's like sitting forever in a waiting room. You're not moving anywhere, but the clock keeps ticking.
And that leads to the third reason, which happens right inside your own head: negative self-talk.
This is a silent but incredibly powerful enemy. Self-talk is the voice inside your head. Things like, I'm not smart enough. I'm not the type who's good at languages, or this is just who I am, why even try to change? Those words are like dripping poison into your brain. After hearing them again and again, it's only natural to feel small, afraid, and exhausted before you even begin.
There's also one more extremely common trap waiting for motivation.
A lot of people say I'll start when I feel completely ready, or I'll practice English when I have strong motivation. But the harsh truth is, this motivation usually comes after you start taking action, not before.
It's like running. You have to start moving first, and only then does your body release endorphins that make you feel good and want to continue. I remember when I decided to get back into exercising, I kept waiting for the perfect day. A new month, a new week, good weather, the right mood.
So what finally made you change?
I made a tiny deal with myself. Just 5 minutes, no more. I went outside, walked slowly, then jogged lightly. When I was done, I felt proud, even if it was just a little. That small sense of pride gave me enough energy to do it again the next day and the day after that.
I went through the exact same thing with speaking English. For a long time, I felt insecure about my terrible accent and was afraid I'd sound stupid. I kept waiting until I felt truly confident before speaking, but of course that confidence never magically arrived.
Confidence is usually the result, not the requirement. So, how did you get past it?
In the end, I thought, whatever, I'll speak even if I sound silly. If I make mistakes, so be it. I started speaking, made tons of mistakes, but every conversation made me a little braver and a little more confident.
So, to sum it up, fear of failure, lack of clear direction, negative self-talk, and waiting for motivation, these are like invisible ropes wrapped tightly around your body, making it hard to move.
The first and most important step to change is seeing those ropes clearly. You can't cut something you don't even realize exists.
Once you start seeing them, you can slowly and gently loosen each one. And that's when real change becomes possible.
So now we understand why change feels so difficult. The bigger question is, how do we start in a practical way?
This is where small steps become incredibly powerful. Many people imagine change as a huge explosion boom, a completely new life. But in reality, change is more like growing a tree.
You can't shout at a tree, grow taller right now. You have to water it every day, give it just the right amount of sunlight, and patiently wait.
Those daily drops of water are your small actions. They may seem insignificant, but over time, they create massive change. I really love the idea of becoming just 1% better every day.
Add up is a great phrase here. Many small things slowly add up and become something big over time.
And the main engine behind all of this is habit. A habit is something you do repeatedly, almost automatically, without much thinking. Like brushing your teeth in the morning, checking your phone first thing when you wake up, or hopefully listening to an English podcast every day.
There's a very famous book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. He says that habits gradually shape your identity, who you believe you are. Identity is the answer to the question, who am I?
For example, if I consistently read English books every night, even for just 10 minutes, over time, I start to think I'm the kind of person who reads English books. And that belief makes it much easier to keep going.
So what small habits can you as listeners start with? It could be reading one page of an English book before bed, writing 2 short sentences about your day in English, listening to this podcast while cooking or cleaning, or even a powerful, say, mindset habit every time you're about to say, I'm terrible at English. Stop yourself and replace it with I'm learning and improving every day.
That's a tiny shift, but an incredibly powerful one.
The key idea here is this: small actions repeated consistently can quietly create massive change in your life.
You don't need a grand, complicated plan. You just need one small, simple action that you commit to repeating every day.
We've mentioned the word mindset quite a lot, so let's take a moment to go a bit deeper into it.
Mindset is how you see your own abilities and your future. Is the voice inside your head kind, encouraging, and hopeful, or harsh and negative?
There are two well-known types of mindset, growth mindset and fixed mindset.
With a growth mindset, you believe you can improve and learn. You're not good yet, but you can get better.
With a growth mindset, you believe you can improve and learn. You're not good yet, but you can get better.
And which one do you think helps you go further?
Obviously, the growth mindset. Also, our brains have a filtering system called the reticular activating system, or RAS. Don't worry about the long name, just remember what it does. It decides which information is important and brings it to your attention.
A classic example: when you learn a new word, you suddenly start seeing it everywhere in movies, books, video, titles, songs. The word was always there, but now your brain highlights it because it considers it important.
If the voice in your head keeps repeating, I can't, your brain will look for evidence to prove you right. But if it says, I'm learning, I'm improving, your brain will start showing you small signs of progress, a sentence you understand a moment when you speak more smoothly.
That's why people say you can reprogram your brain, like installing a more positive app into your personal operating system.
To do that, there are 3 small but incredibly effective tools: affirmations, visualization, and gratitude.
Affirmations are positive statements you intentionally say to yourself. For example, my English is clearly improving every single day.
Visualization is closing your eyes and vividly imagining yourself doing something well. For example, picturing yourself speaking English confidently, smiling during an important job interview.
Gratitude is appreciation. At the end of the day, take a few minutes to think of 3 good things that happened, no matter how small. Today was hard, but I'm grateful for a fun conversation with friends.
Gratitude is appreciation. At the end of the day, take a few minutes to think of 3 good things that happened, no matter how small. Today was hard, but I'm grateful for a fun conversation with friends.
The goal is simple but powerful: to turn the voice inside your head from a harsh critic into a supportive coach who always has your back.
And there's one more big enemy of change: perfectionism.
Many people secretly wait for the perfect moment to start. When their English is better, when they have more free time, when they feel more confident, when everything is ready.
But the irony is this confidence and readiness usually come after you take action, not before.
It's like standing at the edge of a swimming pool telling yourself, I'll jump in when I feel completely comfortable. In reality, that comfortable feeling only comes after you've jumped in and swum a few laps.
When I first started recording my English voice to practice pronunciation, it felt incredibly awkward. My voice sounded strange, and I wanted to delete it immediately. I kept hoping every sentence would be perfect before I dared to post it.
How many recordings did you delete?
Oh my goodness, so many. But one day I told myself, this video isn't perfect, but it's good enough to start. I posted it, and guess what? The world didn't collapse. Nobody laughed at me. Some people even left encouraging comments.
I really love this line. A messy start is better than a perfect day, because a perfect day sometimes means never starting at all.
If you're waiting for the perfect moment, maybe this is your sign. Start right now in the most imperfect way possible. Don't try to change everything at once. Just ask yourself, what's one simple action I can take today? It could be sending a short voice note in English to a friend, reading a short paragraph, or writing a small email in English.
Those imperfect actions slowly create momentum, forward motion.
Momentum is the energy of movement that makes things easier once you've started. It's like riding a bicycle. Once it's moving, you don't need to pedal as hard as you did at the beginning.
So, here's a tiny micro-challenge for you today. Think of one thing you've been procrastinating on and spend exactly 5 minutes on it. Just 5 minutes, no more.
It sounds tiny, but those 5 minutes could open a brand new door in your day.
And there's one more extremely important piece if you want lasting change: environment.
Environment is everything around you. The people you interact with, the places you live and work, the sounds you hear, and the content you watch and read.
There's a famous saying, You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
If those 5 people are constantly complaining and always saying, I can't, or that's too hard, it becomes very difficult to stay positive and motivated.
But if they're trying, learning, and taking small steps toward their future, you'll naturally think, if they can do it, then so can I.
And it's not just about people, it's also about your information diet, the kind of information you feed your brain every day. Information is like food, some of it is healthy, and some of it is junk food that drains you.
Inspiring podcasts, useful videos, good books. That's clean fuel for your brain. Constant negative news, pointless drama, and comment section arguments. On the other hand, suck your energy dry and leave you exhausted.
When I first started learning English, I felt really lonely and discouraged. Then I joined a small online study group. Suddenly there were people saying, I'm struggling too, let's keep going together. That group didn't make English easier, but it made quitting much harder.
So ask yourself right now, who are the 5 people you spend the most time with? Is your information diet healthy or full of junk food? If it feels heavy and negative, you don't need to change everything in one day. You can start by adding one positive person, one good podcast, or one small, supportive community.
Little by little, with better people and better information, taking action starts to feel more natural. You no longer have to fight so hard with yourself.
Emily, today we've covered a lot of big ideas and useful vocabulary. Maybe it's time to slow down and review them.
Yes, let's do a gentle word tour before we wrap up.
Let's start with the core. Feeling stuck, unable to move forward. When you want to change but can't, like being held in place. For example, I feel stuck in my work routine, every day feels the same. Or I'm stuck with my English and don't know how to reach the next level.
Next is fear of failure, being afraid to try because you're scared of not succeeding. For example, fear of failure stopped me from starting a business for years. Or because of fear of failure, I don't dare speak English in public.
Direction? Having a clear path, like a map that guides you. For example, I want to improve my life, but I don't have a clear direction. Or, joining the course gave me clear direction in my English learning.
Negative self-talk, the unkind things you say to yourself in your head. For example, negative self-talk like, I'm so stupid makes me shrink back. Or I'm trying to replace negative self-talk with more encouraging thoughts.
Habit, something you do repeatedly, almost automatically. For example, drinking a big glass of water right after waking up is a healthy habit of mine. Or, listening to an English podcast every morning is a new habit I'm building. These habits slowly reshape your identity.
Identity is how you see yourself. For example, after a year of consistent reading, my identity changed. I see myself as a reader. Or, her identity is now, I'm a hard-working English learner, not, I'm bad at English.
Mindset. Your overall way of thinking about your abilities and your future. For example, with a positive mindset, every problem feels smaller. Or changing my mindset helped me enjoy learning English much more.
Growth mindset, believing you can learn and improve. He has a growth mindset and sees mistakes as chances to learn. Fixed mindset, believing your abilities are fixed. With a fixed mindset, she thinks she'll always be bad at languages.
Affirmation. A positive statement you say to yourself. For example, I use affirmations every morning. I'm getting better every day. Or, morning affirmations help her start the day with confidence.
Visualization, imagining success. You close your eyes and picture yourself succeeding. For example, before the exam, he used visualization to see himself staying calm and answering smoothly. Or, I often visualize myself speaking English confidently in a meeting.
Gratitude appreciation. For example, writing down 3 things I'm grateful for every night helps me practice gratitude. Or, Practicing gratitude makes my problems feel lighter and easier to handle. And finally, for today, environment. Everything around you that influences you. For example, a quiet environment helps me focus better when studying, or changing my environment. The friends I spend time with and the content I consume helped me grow in a very real way.
If you didn't catch every word, that's completely normal. Try listening to this part again a bit more slowly, and if you want a small challenge, pick one word you liked most today and make your own sentence in English. Say it quietly in your head, or be brave, and write it in the comments. We'll read it and cheer you on.
It's like taking your English to the gym, a short, fun workout, but a very effective one.
Thank you so much for spending your valuable time listening and being with us today. Remember, you don't need a perfect plan from the start. You just need one small step and then repeat it every day. We believe in you. Small, consistent changes really can transform your entire life.
If this episode brought you value, please share it with a friend who's also working on self-growth and learning English. The more people growing together, the better.
Take care, keep going one day at a time, and we'll see you in the next episode of English with Emily and James. Emily and James, bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.